Hi everybody and welcome to Newcastle Fans TV, where we're going to do a statistic video, analyst video, whatever you want to call it. Callum Wilson versus Joelinton, and we'll take a little bit of a look at Brighton game coming up on Sunday. And we're going to have a look at the difference. I mean, I don't have to tell you, but we're going to take a look at Callum Wilson's performance against West Ham, but also Joelinton's performance in midweek, and there's a clear difference between the two strikers. We're going to begin with Callum Wilson's performance against West Ham. The first clip that we're going to show up here is saint-maximin feeds the ball out wide to Jamal Lewis, and then we've paused the video because we've highlighted Callum Wilson. He just gets on the end of it. Yes, he probably should do a little bit better. Poor marking by Diop, but he gets on the end of it, doesn't he? The next clip, it's a long ball. Look, Callum Wilson's already bursting through. Yes, it's not the greatest crosses, but he's on the front. Next clip, we've highlighted Wilson here. Now, the one thing I want to highlight here is the movement. Look at his movement running. This should be a much better ball by Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis should be firing that down the byline. Wilson's on the run. Jamal Lewis does a little bit too much. That's poor by Lewis. But you can already see Wilson's moving already. The next clip's saint-maximin out wide to Lewis again. Lewis, we've paused it. You can look at who he's got. He whips it in. Wilson, a little bit of movement from Ogbonna, gets on the end of it. The next clip, the counter-attack. Now, I've highlighted Shelvey because Shelvey deserves massive praise for this. Wilson's on the counter, a little bit of trouble with the ball, but he picks it up. Now, Andy Carroll makes this happen because Carroll drags his man out wide, which then frees up Joe Shelvey. Wilson realises this. You'll see a clip from Joelinton later where he doesn't. Plays in Joe Shelvey. His shot hits the side netting. The next clip is just a little bit of magic by Callum Wilson on his own. Looking around, looking for options, has a shot, it just goes wide, not a million miles off, taking it on his own. You'll never see Joelinton do this. And again, a little bit of movement here, saint-maximin out on the wide, Javier Manquillo has the ball, and this is the goal. I've already highlighted Wilson because he's already looking around him, looking for movement. The cross gets deflected by Manquillo. Souček is not following Hendrick, it's lazy. Hendrick then flicks it on because Ogbonna has to come out of position. That leaves Wilson free for a nice easy tapping. Easy as that. It looks so easy. It really does. It looks so easy. Manquillo's on the right in the next clip. This should be a much better ball by Manquillo, because if Manquillo finds Wilson here, it's another goal for me. It's a poor cross by Manquillo, but brilliant. We're going to move on to Joelinton, right? Here he is, Almiron on the left-hand side. I'm going to pause it because this is the Blackburn defence, all dotted. And you can see Almiron doesn't want to cross it because he doesn't have faith in Joelinton. So Joelinton now has to do some movement. He's got to move. He's just static. Move. But nothing avails. The next clip, a long ball by Emil Krath. Joelinton wins it, but Joelinton's got to give better movement here. He's got to move. He's too static, but look at that for a touch. Really poor. Gives the ball away. Next clip, ball laser through. Ball on the wide. I think he's a little bit unlucky here. That's much better. Much better by Joelinton. You need to see more of that. We'll move on to the next one. Almiron. Great bit of skill. Running through now. But this is the run where Joelinton needs to do. There's space there. But he doesn't. He wants the ball lifted. He's put his hand up. And he, again, look at Joelinton. He's just not moving. Simple stuff. And this one. Look at that for a pass. It's just poor, isn't it? And we'll move on to into the second half. Long ball by Gillespie, and it just Joelinton just he's static again. The ball's already moving. He should be running, run down that byline. That's Richie there. He's not even getting it in the box. Do something, at least help out. You know what I mean? And again, he's holding the ball up, and it's lazy, it's lethargic, and Blackburn win the ball back. And for me, Joelinton plays his back to goal far too much. And this one. Do you know what I was saying about earlier, where Almiron plays in Shelvey? Joelinton's got to play Jacob Murphy in here. Jacob Murphy's got a free shot and goal, and it's tame and it's weak. Let me know what you think on that. Joelinton, for me, start of the season, you can see the difference between Wilson and Joelinton. Joelinton having these back to goal, no movement. Wilson's the other way around. He wants to run at his defence, and he's got loads of movement. Massive gulf of difference. I don't have to tell you that. I've said that already. It's just not good. It's just not good enough. We're going to move on to next then. We're going to take a look at Brighton. So this is the lineup that Graham Potter went with last weekend when they were beaten at home at Chelsea. They had a fantastic win on Thursday night, winning 4-0 against Portsmouth. I watched the game. It was a lot of fringe players that were playing, but a couple of them did impress. So will you see a couple of changes? I think you will. I think you'll see a couple of changes come into the game for Brighton. Us and Brighton have been really poor games recently. They've all been 0-0s, and I just hope there's a bit of goal mouth action. And you look at Newcastle's side and you think, okay, so this is the 4-4-2 that we went up against West Ham, which we were absolutely brilliant, we dominated. Does Bruce go with that again, or does he change it because Almiron played well in midweek? Even though Gillespie played alright, I don't think he'll change the goalkeeper. Ryan Fraser, of course, scored in midweek. Does he come in? I don't think Fraser will start. I think he'll be back on the bench. But I think the only one change that might be is you might see Almiron come in and start for someone else. That's the only thing I can say from that game. I just want to highlight our positional from last week as well against West Ham. Look how far number 16, that's Hendrick. Look how far he falls in advance. Look at 10, which is on the left hand side, which is Alan Saint-Maximin. 7, of course, Andy Carroll. Wilson 13. So we had 4, possibly even 5, because you look at Shelby's right on the halfway line. Fullbacks were so pushed on. Look at 15, which is Lewis. Look at 19, which is Manquillo. Is that the same approach that we go again with? I think you've got to against the side, which, no disrespect, is probably going to finish just beneath Newcastle this season in Brighton. I think you've got to go and attack them. Next graphic, this is the long pass. A lot of the time, you can see on the graphic on the right hand side, we attack down the right hand side a lot. That was more probably second half, but first half it was more on Alan Saint-Maximin, Jamal Lewis's side. But if you look at going back to the long ball situation, we had more than double long balls, more than West Ham last week. That's probably down to 2 factors, that we're hitting Andy Carroll long, but also Wilson's movement. Again, I talked about a little bit earlier. Wilson wants to run at the defender, face and goal, whereas Joelinton's the other way, back towards goal. And I also want to touch upon the importance of John Joe Shelby, because this was picked up later that John Joe Shelby had the same amount of chances as Callum Wilson. We're talking a lot about Wilson in this video. Shelby deserves a lot of credit. Obviously, he likes to do well against West Ham, and we want to see more of that. We want to see him get more and more forward going into the game against Brighton. And a couple of individual stats here. Obviously, Andy Carroll, you can see at the bottom right there, for the amount of aerial duels that he won. The one on the bottom left is your crosses. Obviously, having Manquillo and Lewis all featured is the 2 most, and that's because we pushed the fullback so much on against West Ham. And you've got to look at the successful dribbles at the top left as well. We know Alan Saint-Maximin's always going to be top, isn't he? And the top right is key passes. Again, Shelby too. We knew that. Wilson, Jamal Lewis, obviously with a couple of those crosses to the bottom left. I think Newcastle will win again. I'm going to be optimistic. I think we'll get 6 points from 6 here. I'm feeling optimistic. I want to know what you lot think, though. That's more importantly in the comments. What you think of Wilson and Joelinton, of course. How we set up last week. Are we going to do it again? Because I think it's the way forward. And does Miguel Almiron get in that lineup? But I'm going to say that Newcastle, I don't think there'll be many goals. There never is between the two sides. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. And of course, get involved with the flick up. The reason why I mention this, right? The last 2 matches, I have finished top out predictions. Both times. I've got 4 out of 5 on each game. I'm going 1-0. Download the flick up. Get involved in Man the Match. Get involved in the Alan Shearer quiz. Loads of it. It's free to use. It doesn't cost you a single penny. All the news are on there. You get all of our Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all into one. Download the flick app. It's free. Ta-da, everyone. Bye-bye.